A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created, Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call, Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome to the Coach Mark Center Show. Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the Coach Mark Center Show.
We look forward to seeing you on Madison County School Sports Television.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Oh, there you go, you got time. Go right.
Welcome back to the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Burford. We are here at the Jack Burford, we're going to just call it our little studio, our coach's studio. They are our official sponsor, and we do thank them for that. But let me introduce Coach Mark Centers. He's the head coach of the Madison Central Indians football team. Now, let's talk about the game this past Saturday night. It was the Coach Roy Kidd Bowl. There was 2 games. You guys played in the second game. Last time we talked, last week, we can start off by talking about the first game, Bryan Station, I believe. You said that was going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's Bryan Station really went crazy offensively. It looked like, of course, we were a little busy. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it.
That was my next question, if you got to see it.
Yeah, we kind of heard more what was going on.
Yeah.
Especially in the first quarter, you could tell the fans in the stands were making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And we about the time somebody would start yelling really loud, one of the assistants would run out to the door and check
and see what was going on. Come back and report.
Yeah. And you know, it's just one of those things. I think the athleticism of Bryan Station kind of showed. And of course, Hardin County, according to Coach Larkey, has a little bit of a young team this year.
Yeah.
But again, you know, they battled hard, and you know, Coach Larkey even made comment to one of the guys who was serving as team liaison for us that their game plan was working. They just couldn't stop the big play, and certainly Bryan Station has that ability. And of course, you know, Coach Parks and Coach Hughley and some of the guys with the Bryan Station staff, a lot of local folks are very familiar with them. Of course, we are too, because we coached with Frank and back on Coach Turner's staff years ago, and he's doing a super job at Bryan Station. He's really got those guys organized and going, and how obtain offense, and doing a great job up there.
Yeah. Well, let's get to what everybody really wants to talk about, and that's Madison Central football.
Absolutely.
So let's move on into the second game against Murray. Murray came in that afternoon, right? They rolled their bus in. What is that, a 6-hour drive, something like that? Hoping that they were going to be hot and tired, right? After that long bus ride. But there was a little delay in the first game, so they got a chance to, you know, wait it out, I guess, same as you guys did. Let's start with the beginning of the game. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the preparation, with everything going on surrounding the events surrounding the day, it's definitely a different atmosphere in preparing for that. But it's part of hosting a bowl game and things like that, and we have to make arrangements for our kids. And I felt like our kids did a really good job in preparing. I know the Murray guys, they rolled in on their charter buses and things like that. And they did get there early, so they were out on the field trying to get ready and things. So, kind of real unique situation there preparing for the game. But, we got off to a great start. Got off to a really good start. Had the squib kick that took just the perfect bounce, and we were able to get on that and were able to go up top for a quick score and kind of welcome to 2014.
Right. And Harden was your quarterback for that.
He was, and did a nice job. Really kind of gathered himself, and his first look was actually taken away, so he went to his backside look and found Lawrence Lee open in the end zone for a touchdown, and a really exciting first 7 minutes for sure.
Lee, what year is he?
He's a junior.
Okay, couldn't remember that one.
Yeah.
I've always said I wish you guys could get new jerseys every year so that you could always put their names on the back, because we're always trying to scramble to get the paper out to see who's playing who. But now we know at least 18 and 17, so those are going to be interchangeable because they both scored touchdowns during the game, right?
Yeah.
So people were always questioning it last week. That was the big question that came in: who are you going to start, who are you going to play? But you really played them both.
Right, and honestly, going forward, I can really see that being a viable option for us. Again, and I mentioned it in the newspaper a time or two. It's such a blessing to have two guys who are capable of winning varsity football games, and both Cameron and Zach are such good leaders. They're hard workers. They both their knowledge of the offense is good, and as we mentioned last week, they're both capable of doing different things, and their strengths kind of complement each other and accentuate each other. So, it gives us a nice change of pace. It certainly gives the opposing defense more to prepare for, and certainly anytime you can give another defense something else to prepare for, that's a good thing, we feel like.
Right.
So Zach threw the ball pretty well most of the night. A couple of mishaps. The screen pass was kind of a situation where perhaps it was forced a little bit, and our wide receiver didn't exactly get to his mark where he was supposed to be, and then there was a late one that he threw that was really just kind of trying to make a play at the end of a half, and then the tip ball was kind of a fluky thing, but in the stat column it didn't look great, but overall, in grading him out, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
And then of course Cameron came in and ran our read option very well, and he scored off of that play, and again gave us a nice change of pace and really an uplift when he came in the game and scored. That was a critical point in the game because it really kept us in the game,
and the momentum
swung back our way a little bit, and quite frankly, I think may have helped energize our defense to kind of start getting those stops and things like that. And,
right.
We battled our way back. Step A. I told the kids you have to do part A before you can complete part B, and playing hard is a really important key component. And now we have to give great effort in doing the right things. Overall, if you look at the overall piece of work with the Murray game the other night, of course Murray's a really good football team. I want to give their coaching staff and their kids tons of credit because they're an extremely good team.
Big team.
They're big. They're strong. They've got a couple of in my opinion, legit Division I type athletes in the quarterback and the tight end, defensive end, and a couple others. Our linemen are solid and strong. And obviously we want to give them tons of credit. They certainly won the game, but I also feel like that there were plays that we could have made. There were things that we could have done. Probably you're looking at 4 or 5 plays that would really swung the game in our favor, and perhaps handily, depending on when those things had happened. And you can always look back at a loss. As a coach, the wins never feel as good as the losses hurt, and that's just kind of how it is in the coaching game. But we also know that we have to correct the mistakes, and mental mistakes are huge. And I told our kids Monday when we went into film, the key thing, if you look at the overall piece of the Murray game, is 10 for 99.
Okay.
We had 10 penalties for 99 yards. And really probably more than 99 yards actually on the football field, because Corian Cryer had about a 40-yard run called back due to a penalty and had another approximately 20-yard run called back for a penalty. And he ran for about 40 as it was. So that would have put him up towards 100 yards rushing. It would have certainly extended a couple of our drives. And we really have to fix the mental aspect of the game and not make the real key crucial mental mistakes, because 7 of those 10 penalties were just absolute mental mistakes and mental breakdowns that we have to fix.
So do you think that since this was the season opener, are you anticipating those fixes will come as they mature and the season keeps going?
Oh, well, and quite honestly, and I hope this doesn't come across in the wrong way, they will be fixed. Hopefully, the young men that had the breakdowns will fix them.
Right.
But at some point they will be fixed,
right.
and that's part of the game too. If in my teaching job, if I'm not getting the job done, Mr. Muntz will find someone who will get the job done.
Right.
And I know that, and I'm aware of that, and that's just kind of part of life. So, we've got to fix some things, and we know we've got to fix some things. And if you continue to repeat the same mistakes, you can't expect to get a different result.
Exactly.
So we're working hard on that aspect, and we're very aware of that side of things. And again, the effort, the great effort, all that was there. And our kids do deserve some credit for that, but we can't be satisfied with people telling us, well, you fought hard, how good you fought. We appreciate that, but we also know that it wasn't enough to get the win, and we've got to do what's enough to get the win.
Right. Yes, because that was one of our questions from one of your fans. They're excited. They thought, watching the game, that you guys never gave up.
Right.
Now, granted, it was still a loss, but you never gave up. Even the second half, you fought hard throughout.
Well, and that was pleasing to see. I think we definitely saw a different product on the field versus Murray than we saw perhaps in our scrimmage.
Okay.
And I think that as a collective team, we played harder. We played more aggressive. We played more excited with more enthusiasm.
So it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
All of those things definitely seem to be better.
Right.
And again, those are things that we have to get in place, and we have to carry over week after week after week. The key thing with a team like ours, you can call us a young team, but again, everybody on our team is young per se, because our seniors have had the same amount of reps in our system as our sophomores, because when we took over in February, all of those guys have had the exact same number of reps with us since then. So everything's new. Everything's new to our seniors and our juniors, and of course our sophomores. This is kind of what they're being taught. So it's it's kind of all part of the process again. But really, the effort being there, and so proud of our guys for the effort. And I mentioned that I'm not disappointed with that side of things so much. I was no question about disappointed with the mental aspect and the mental breakdowns. Again, 10 penalties, far too many. 7 of those being mental breakdowns. False starts and offsides, things like that. That's tough to deal with, just because we really have to pride ourselves in not doing things to make us lose the game. And it's an old cliche, I'm sure, but in order to win a game, you first have to not lose it.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Some of your fans, some of the questions that they want to know, you were talking about how your team is just learning this system. One of your fans is wanting to know, being on this 6A team, you've got young players, you're new to the system. Has it been a challenge for you and your coaching staff, everything being new?
Well, things just don't seem new because of the time that we spent at Central before.
Okay.
It's
a great answer.
We really went into this thing with our eyes wide open, because so many of us have been a part of it all before. So that side of things, we knew exactly what we were walking into, but now the training of the kids to compete on the 6A level, I think that, as much as anything, is just a process in itself.
Right.
We play in the freshman team schedule against other similar size schools is important, and gaining that confidence. And JV is something that we're really going to try to emphasize this year in particular, and again against those same 6A type schools that we're going to play in district and region play. All of that matters.
Go ahead.
All of that matters in the process of trying to train the kids up in knowing what to expect
in the years to come, where the program's moving forward. I agree. Okay, next question is, do you think you have changed? Like when we got to the game, your team was out on the field where the fans used to park.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? Some people want to know why the change of that.
Well, that was just simply a warm up because of the vault, because we couldn't get,
Okay.
there was only 45 minutes in between times, so we were forced to go up to the top side to warm up for to get the beginnings of our pregame warm-ups done. Obviously on a normal game night we'll be able to get down on the field a little bit
And people will
earlier
still
and
be
warm
able
up.
to get out there then.
That area we're trying to keep because
Okay.
our freshman team, of course, again, our freshman team has their own set of coaches and their own schedule.
Okay.
And with having 70 plus on the varsity roster, especially on at certain times in our practice, we're spread out all over the field doing different drills. So it helps for us to be able to have our freshman team, which again has 45 members of their own. We're looking at well over 110, to close to 120 players right now, program wide. So they're able to go up top to that area and use it as a practice field. And of course, when we were here before, that was the practice field. That was the
Yes.
that was the practice area. So it's been that way for years. But we need to try to keep that as good as we can, keep that turf area up there, or I guess the grass area up there, as good a shape as we can. So
no cars driving.
So
on it.
we're going to have to
Sorry.
try to keep that the traffic to a minimum on there if we can, and quite honestly, towards the end of the year we're hosting it's either the district or region soccer tournament, and of course that'll be going on towards the end of the year at a very critical time in our season because we'll be in district play and playoffs.
Okay.
And in the event that there's a soccer game, and it's a very good likelihood that there could be soccer games starting on our turf, we're going to need a place to practice on varsity. So
Needs to be there.
we're going to,
Need a
obviously
field.
that's right. We're going to obviously need a place to go, and as opposed to trying to bus to one of the other venues or something, it's just a whole lot easier to go up there and practice on that area. So, it's. I know people have been concerned about that, but we've got some alternate means. That I guess that had been a tailgating area in the past.
Yes.
And people were able to buy passes, and we're trying to come up with some alternate means. We've got the Ace end zone tent seating that's going to be coming out this Friday night, which is going to be really neat. There's going to be some tent seating set up down in the west end zone in that little half circle.
They'll love that.
It's awesome. It really is. And with each tent you can get between 10 and 15 people. I think it's up to 15 people per tent, and there'll be seating there. There'll be some basic concessions there that the people who purchase the tent can ask for prior to the game.
Yeah.
And kind of get that delivered. It'd be kind of like a one trip through with concession food and things like that provided, and just a real unique place for people to sit and enjoy the game and get a little bit closer to that end zone and things like that. So.
Absolutely, because it is a much different view down there compared to up in the stands.
It is, and I understand the disappointment some folks had with not being able to tailgate, but just from a standpoint of us trying to win football games, we need that area to practice on.
Right.
So some with things that go by the wayside, some new things come in, and we're hoping that these Ace end zone tent seating will help ease that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it should. Absolutely, I think it's a fantastic idea. Surprised no one's thought of it before, right?
Hopefully it'll work.
Well, before we go to commercial break, let's keep talking about the Murray game. Is there any shout out that you want to give? Any particular athlete or any one particular play that just stands out in your mind that you want to say, what, we can't forget about this person?
I mean, we had a lot of big plays. As a coach, you're always focused on fixing the things that cost the win or fixing the things that could have cost the win, as the case may be. But, there were a lot of big plays. I thought Corian Cryer played particularly well on both sides of the football, offensively and defensively. Keenan Miller had a couple of very nice returns, a real key return that set up a score for us. Zach Harden showed poise in some duress. At times our line played okay, and at times our line quite frankly did not, and of course I am the offensive line coach along with a couple guys that helped me out, but the responsibility for that lies directly on me, and so there are always things that we're going to need to get better at, but we will. And several kids had real nice individual performances, and we just need to kind of continue to put that together. Again, Cameron Presnell had the big play that helped us get back in it. Lots of high points, of high points to take from it.
Right. Well, good. We thought it was fantastic, and we were happy to be there. It was a great season opener. You had a lot of fans in the stands, and I for a bowl game like that, we do need to give a shout out to Coach Kidd because he looked fabulous out there holding that big trophy.
Yeah, so appreciative of him being a part of everything, and
Him and Sue both.
Yeah, absolutely.
They come as a pair, don't they?
That's right, and you know, him being down there helping present the trophy, and you know, listening to the coaches from the other team talk to their kids and kind of tell them, hey, this is who this is.
Right.
And you know, it doesn't take you long to hear Coach Kidd's accomplishments before you think, wow,
yeah,
that's pretty neat.
It is. It is. Now, a lot of people want to know. We've had questions, and I have the question. You guys, after the game, got into a big circle with Murray. Was that just prayer? What?
Yeah, kind of impromptu.
Did anyone speak, or?
Yeah, kind of impromptu thing. Coach Hodge and I spoke there briefly. Got a great deal.
Because we couldn't hear in the stands what anyone was saying.
Right. Yeah. And Coach Hodge and I just actually spoke briefly right there on the field after we shook hands, and you know, we kind of said, hey, we'd like to do this, and he said, well, we do that same thing, but we do it in this way, and so we just kind of joined hands and had a moment there of meditation prayer, and just thankful for a good, safe night for both teams, and the opportunity to get on the field and go to battle with a bunch of good guys, and that's kind of what that was all about, and appreciate him and his players again. Good clean game. You know, you really appreciate when you get a really good, tense football game like that, and you're able to come out on the other side and say, man, that was a really good game.
Yeah.
Good, well played, clean game.
Right. Sounds good. Well, and it was a fantastic picture moment because it was beautiful to stand up in the stands and see that moment. It was a good picture opportunity.
Proud of
fantastic.
Proud of our kids. You know, that's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
We're great kids, and they want to be a part of it.
Exactly. All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this week's schedule.
Great.
All right, we'll be right back with the Coach Mark Center Show.
Excellent. A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created, Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call, Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the Coach Mark Center Show.
We look forward to seeing you on Madison County School Sports Television.
Okay, that's it.
This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Oh, there you go. You got time. Go right.
Welcome back to the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and of course I have Mark Centers with me, head coach of the Madison Central Indians football team. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you.
We always love having the coaches in with us. We'll let you know too. Anytime you want to bring any of the players in or other coaches in with you, we'd love to have them.
That'd be great. I've got a couple of assistants I think I may ask.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about Woodford County, the Yellow Jackets coming to town. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a great deal of respect for Coach Steve Strombreaker, and he's doing a great job up at Woodford County. They may be one of the biggest high school football teams I've ever seen.
Biggest as in big or big as in numbers?
Big as in physically
Both.
big. Their numbers are probably similar to ours. I haven't really counted, but their numbers are pretty similar to ours, but they are physically large and imposing football team.
Yeah.
I think I counted 7 or 8 kids that are over 300 pounds, and their front line defensively, offensively and defensively, their front line is very, very large. So they've got a young man by the name of Drake Jackson, number 52, who is kind of their Premier player. He's rated in some services, like Rivals has him rated really high. I'm wanting to say probably top 20 in the nation in the junior class as far as linemen are concerned. He plays defensive end, plays right guard for him. He actually plays all across the defensive line, but plays primarily right guard on offense. Really nice football player. And, they've got a couple of really good athletes. Their quarterback does a nice job, especially does a nice job throwing on the run. The number 42, his name's skipping me right now, but he's their main running back. And
that's all right. Just look for his number.
Yeah. I mean, it's 42 speaks for itself. And,
yeah.
And he's a really nice football player. Very solid at the running back position, and then again he's really aggressive and does a great job defensively for him. So he's a guy that we've definitely got to look up and make sure we're trying to get a block on him. So yeah, we a very nice football team coming in. They based a little bit off of what I saw on the film last year and loosely on what I heard Coach Stonebreaker talking. They seem to be a much improved football team this year. They stumbled a little bit in the game to Nelson County, but that game was called early.
For the weather?
Yeah.
This past week?
I think it was third quarter. I think it was mid-third quarter.
Okay.
That game was called due to weather. And so
well, typically Woodford County has a long-standing tradition of big football. So
right, and you know they've had some up and downs over the course of the years, but there have been times where they've been very good, and it seems like they'll always have a couple of really nice athletes, and when they get a quarterback, they can be pretty sound and very competitive, and of course again I think Coach Stonebreaker, he's as knowledgeable as any of the coaches around. He does a really nice job of putting his kids in position to make plays, and I think that's what he's doing with his team now, and you know we're excited to see what happens Friday night.
So everybody knows you get the plays that Woodford County sends you. When do they have to send? Is there a KHSAA rule that you have to have those within your possession by game 5 days before a game, or how does that work?
It really works more as a gentleman's agreement, more of a coach's agreement. I mean,
so no rules.
There are policies in place, but as far as enforcement of those and things like that, it's pretty tough for them to enforce that type of thing. And but you know, most everyone you deal with, you know, in the coaching profession, we all understand what we're trying to do, and ultimately try to be good sports. Hopefully we're trying to be good sports. We're trying to teach a bunch of high school kids about sportsmanship and things like that. So it's pretty crucial that we hold up our end of that bargain. But you know, rarely do you ever have any trouble as far as trading things like that. And you know, sometimes people are able to get more on you than perhaps you're able to get on them. But you know, all in all, it comes down to putting your kids in the best position to make plays and X's and O's on the field. So.
Right. So you guys will watch your game film from Saturday night, this past Saturday night's game. You'll get together as a team on Sunday or on Monday to watch it?
We do it as coaches first? Do ours on Monday because Sunday is our coaches meeting day. And we meet pretty extensively as a staff on Sunday. So, you know, on a typical game week, a lot of us will do some work on our own on Saturday and to get ready for our meeting on Sunday. But Sunday is pretty much a coaches meeting day. After church, we all get together and devote. You can ask our wives, devote pretty much all afternoon and evening to that.
Yeah, it's football season.
And then
they know they're not going to see you much during the season.
Yeah, and then so Monday we're prepared and ready to go to present to our guys.
Right. Now, what are you doing different this week? Anything different this week compared to last week that you've learned from and putting in the system for this week?
Well, you know, we're trying to build. You know, each week has to build upon itself and build upon the previous week. You know, we use the math analogy a lot. You have to kind of know last week's steps to be able to do this week's steps and things like that. But you know, really the main change this week is we've got one less day to prepare. True. And so we had to come in Monday ready to roll. And ready to begin putting in the package and begin introducing the kids to the package. Certainly had to take some time on Monday to view film and view some things from the previous game, but quickly shut the book on that and start preparing for Woodford. So, you know, we were playing on Saturday last week, had an extra day, and it seemed like it was forever before you played. And this week it's kind of the opposite because you're back to a normal week, but it seems like it's short a day, and so here we are Wednesday already. So it's time to go.
Yeah. Well, you've got some fans out there, lots of fans that are tweeting in, asking us questions, knowing the show's coming up. So if you're all right with it, we'll go right into those.
Sure.
So knowing that you've got two really fantastic quarterbacks. They want to know, are you going to do any trick plays, any quarterback swaps, any fantastic fun swaps that, you know, the fans are going to love?
Well, there is this one thing that, well, I better not talk about that. No,
Can't give away the secrets.
Yeah, it's, you know, again, it's, some of it's going to come down to who has the hot hand. Some of it's going to come down to what we feel like can be effective. But I mean, sure, it gives us the opportunity to maybe get a little bit imaginative and creative and do some things there where perhaps both of them be in the game at the same time. That's something that we hope folks will come out to the stadium and buy a ticket and come watch and
come watch.
And so that'll be something that that definitely could present itself if the situation were right.
Well, with your two quarterbacks, you got one that loves to throw, one that loves to pass and run the ball, pass it off. Do you have a ratio as a coaching staff? Do you guys prefer one over the other, or you just go with what's working for that game?
Yeah, we prefer to win.
Right.
So we're going to try everything we can to attack the defense and see what it is that we feel like is the best way to attack and the best position to put our kids in to make plays, and that's kind of how we're going to dictate. You know, there's not a set plan. There's we didn't have anything in place where we said he's going to get this many series and then we're going to go to the next guy.
Right.
More of a feel type thing from that. But,
yeah, they wanted to know a ratio, but you know, percentages.
Yeah, there could be, you know, there could be a time. There could be a game plan that we come up where we say, okay, we're going to open up with this, and then we're going to switch to this, and then we're going to switch back, and you know, certainly that's a possibility.
Okay.
And you know, and as far as a ratio. You know, you know, and that was, you know, the way the question was worded there. I can look at it two ways. You know, one way I look at it is a ratio, our run to pass ratio. We would like to stay pretty balanced in our run to pass ratio. I think most all football teams would like to stay balanced. Now, me as an offensive line coach, if we can run for 400 yards a game, I'd love to run for 400 yards a game. But I also am very aware that you know, we have to be balanced. That's the way for us to be in the best position and to win games is to be as balanced as possible. And you know, we like to set up use our run game to set up the play action pass. The play action pass is a big part of our offense, and we feel like we can hit some big plays out of our play action passing game. So I do thoroughly believe that the way to win football games consistently is to run the ball well, play great defense, and protect the football. But I'm not one of these guys who the fans are going to have to be holding up signs saying throw the ball, coach, because we like to throw the football.
Right.
I feel that's a very important part of the game.
Well, and as you mentioned, it's fantastic that you can go both directions, because some teams, you know, are always going to throw the ball or always going to pass the ball the majority of the time. When a team comes in, they don't know. It could go both ways, because you're fortunate enough to have two great quarterbacks like that.
That's right. You know, and going back to that trick play, maybe we'll have something where the running quarterback throws it to the throwing quarterback or something like that.
You know, the fans would love that.
Yeah. That I would too, as long as it scores touchdowns.
As it wins.
Yeah, that's right.
And if it works.
But yeah, I mean there's a lot of advantages that we have, and again, you know, you look back to the kids that we talked about last week that were going to be our primary ball carriers. You know, each one of them got a chance to carry the ball, and each one of them had an opportunity to do some big things. You know, you take away two penalties, and Corian Cryer has a 100-yard night.
Right.
And you know, again,
that hurt.
It really did. But you know, we've got super talented kids in Johan and Jabari, Jonathan, and Jalen Powell, and then you know, we've got a lot of guys who can make plays.
Yeah, I guess when you holler out, you can't really holler out Williams because you got two Williams on there, right? So you got to stick with the first names.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, and we discussed this last week in your show, they want to know about the number of kids participating. Has it increased this year? And I didn't write the rest of the question down, but I know what it said. Do you feel like you've got some kids that aren't playing this year because they've said, okay, no, I'm going to stick with basketball, or I'm just going to stick with soccer, and before possibly they played all the sports?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm quite honestly not real for sure about that. I encourage the kids. I want to see the kids play multiple sports. I really like to see the kids play, especially basketball and baseball, because I do think the competition level is high. We've got Worthy McGuire, who plays soccer and football, and he does a great job with that. You know, it's a juggle, but kids do a great job with it. I'm a big fan of the baseball football combo kids because the baseball kids have such a strong mental makeup. Baseball is such a mental game, and they're used to being out and working hard in the heat and things like that. So I love to see those kids come and play football. They're always, you know, pretty good ball players and pretty good kids. You know, basketball kids certainly brings an athleticism to your team.
Right.
John Williams and Zach and heck, a bunch of kids. You know, we've got 8 or 9 kids that play basketball as well as football, and another handful of kids, at least 4 or 5 kids that play baseball as well as football, and then, you know, come from a participation standpoint, you know, talking about numbers being up, you know, we had 94 in the spring, and we're down to about 70. Actually, we're down to 71 today because we had a young man that had to move on Monday.
Ouch.
Xavier Pruitt, he was a junior, and his family had to move, and so, you know, we wish him well and hope that he's able to pick up at his new school and take off and play down there. But you know, we lost some guys over the course of the summer due to unfortunate academic circumstances when the grades were posted at the end of the spring. We lost some guys due to that, and that's always so hard to look at a kid and say, you know, you can't participate because of this reason.
Yeah.
And you know, but academics are very, very important, and we all have to remember that the job one for these young men is to be the very best students that they can be, and they have to take care of the academic piece before they can ever worry about stepping on the field. So
so many of them, you know, they love football more than they love academics, so it is a challenge.
Right, and you have to prioritize, and you have to
study.
That's right. You have to study. It's a student athlete. It has to be student first. And then we did have a few guys over the course of the summer that decided that, you know, hey, I want to go a different direction, and we wish them well in their endeavors there. But, you know, with 70, 71, 72 on varsity right now, and another 45 on the freshman team, you know, that's you know, well over 100 kids in the program at the moment, 9 through 12, which is pretty solid numbers. I feel like, you know, I've always kind of had a personal goal. I would like to see us average about 30 per class, and we're pretty close to that number.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, when we get to the point where we are in the 80s and 90s range on varsity, and with another 50 or so freshmen each year, I think that'll certainly help things down the road.
And Madison Central just keeps growing.
It does.
The numbers keep increasing, so that's got to be good for you.
I think I heard Mr. Munt say the other day in the cafeteria that we're at about 1920 right now. Yikes. As far as the total enrollment goes, which is a lot. But you know, hey, a lot of schools around the state with over 2,000 in there.
Right.
And you know, I like the feel of our school. I don't feel like, you know, there are certainly places where I'm sure we're cramped and things like that, but if you take the overall campus as a whole, you know, I don't feel like we're cramped or anything. I don't feel like that we're hurting because of it. I think it's a really neat school community, and loved how the kids got behind us. You know, the student section was awesome the other night.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can find somewhere to fit in at Madison Central if you want to.
Yeah. Before we end, we got to give a big shout out, because you know those students, your athletes, are loving the new weight room.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be loving it.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I've seen the pictures.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that? I know we talked about it last week, but tell us again.
Well, I mean, it every day we're putting that room to use.
Yes.
There's no question about it. You know, 5-6 periods a day, and plus after school and before school, and any time in between, to be honest about it, because it's absolutely schedule packed. But that is probably one of the more used classrooms in the school, and certainly our young men are getting a huge advantage out of that, and we've got them lifting hard each and every day. Coach Roof is doing a fantastic job with the advanced strength and conditioning class. I think it's listed as PE4 or PE5, which is a huge thing. You know, to give these young men an opportunity, and women, as an opportunity to get in there and make themselves stronger and make themselves better for their individual sport. And obviously football is a sport that is very strength based, and so, you know, I feel like we're getting better every day. I feel like that we're getting stronger every single day, and being able to do that in season is a pretty unique thing. And you know, we're talking with other schools. You know, we're trying to ask friends at other places who have been highly successful programs, you know, how they do things, and trying to make sure that as we set up our process, we're doing it in the right way. And we're really super excited about the direction that it's going, and I feel like the kids are too.
I know you are, I know the kids are. They're loving it, and it's only going to make them better as athletes, as even off season. So as this football season ends, it's just going to make next season even better.
Well, and it lends itself so well to the student athletes who do participate in more than one sport.
True.
And we've got tons of kids on our football team who need to go home after school and work, and it allows them, you know, they're now not in that situation. You know, this is looking forward more to the off season, but they're not in that situation to where they're having to make a choice. Do I go get my lift in today, or do I go to work? Well,
right.
They're able to get their lift in during the class time, and then they're able to go to work after school, take care of siblings after school, do things that their parents need them to do after school, play other sports after school. It's so valuable for them to have this opportunity, and again, it makes for a greater school community. It makes for a greater athletic community, and hopefully it'll help all of us on the field and off.
Yeah. Before we close, is there anything you want to give a shout out to before we?
I really want to thank the fans that came out for the Roy Kidd Bowl. It was a very important night for us, and you know, we need all that support and then some this Friday night against Woodford County, another home game, which is awesome to have open the season up with back-to-back home games. You know, our kids really value the support from the stands, and I could tell that it energized them towards the end of the game. You know, that when the crowd was getting into it, and just like, you know, again, our student section did an awesome job.
Yeah, they were loud.
They were loud, and they did a great job. And all of that matters. You know, all of that is part of that Friday Night Lights atmosphere. All of that is important, you know, to helping us on the field. And certainly, you know, we've got to do our part to make it well. But, you know, just please come out and support these young men. They're working very hard. I believe that they deserve infinite support. So we love to see folks come out and support these guys. And let's go get a win on Friday.
And it just occurred to me, we probably want to give a shout out to National Guard, because you guys did wear the National Guard jerseys.
Yeah, those were neat.
I hate to put that at the end, but it just came to me. I didn't put it in my notes. So.
Well, I definitely should have. Sergeant Harrison actually came by and picked up the rest of those uniforms today, and that was a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And I think our kids were very excited about getting the opportunity to wear those uniforms, and you know, with the National Guard logo on the front and digitized camo, and
they were pretty cool.
I thought they, you know, and I thought they complimented, you know, I thought the blue helmet and pants off of those jerseys were kind of unique. I had never once thought of it until I saw one of the highlight clips on TV, and I was like, wow, that's pretty
Looks
cool.
Good.
So
they're looking good.
But you know, those guys, the Kentucky National Guard does so much to support so many schools. We had a great relationship at Garrett with our recruiter over there, and have already developed a wonderful relationship here. Of course, Sergeant Oliver, who's moved on up to EKU and is post up there, and we've got a new recruiter, Sergeant
He never misses a game.
No,
he never misses your games.
He was a huge help with our bowl game, and Sergeant Harrison, of course, taking over, and Ralph kind of gave him some pointers and kind of helped show him so that he can help us set up our bowl next year. So those guys do so much, and you know, just the fact that we have that kind of support is really important for our kids.
You're right. Hate to put him at the end, but like I said, I forgot to put that in my notes. So we do want to give a shout out to the National Guard. Coach, it's always a pleasure to have you in the studio. We thank you very much. I don't know if anybody can hear it, but it's thundering outside, so we will let you get home before it's you can see how dark it's gotten all of a sudden. So we'll let us all get home before the lightning starts striking.
That sounds good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Do not wear black and yellow to the game Friday night.
No.
Make sure you wear the Indian colors.
That's right, blue and red.
That's right. That's right. Good luck, Coach, and we'll see you next week. And anxious to hear about the big W against Woodford County is what we're anticipating. And then we can't wait to hear about the Central Southern matchup the following Friday night.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for watching the Coach Mark Center Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and we'll see you next week.
A special thank you to our great sponsors: Jack Burford Chevrolet, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel, Luxury Pets, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Equipment Sales and Rentals, give Sean a call. Tatum Enterprises, Richmond Tourism, WKYT.com, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, First Gear, Pro Signs, Berea Online, and Rosenbaum Communications. This program is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank and Trust. Visit their new location in Berea.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.